What's up everyone, Evo Revolution here, and you already know what we're going to be doing. We're going to be ranking Generation 8. Now, with a region based off of Great Britain, I think a lot of the Pokemon in this region really felt like it hit home. It really feels like a lot of these Pokemon really would fit in a region based off of Great Britain, so I really can't wait to go ahead and start ranking these Pokemon. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So as you can see, we got the tier list already made up. S rank being ranked as my perfect. F is being ranked as like the worst possible. I have not available in here because of obviously normal reasons of different forms and stuff, but it actually looks like they're all good. So I think we'll go ahead and get started with the Galarian regional variants of each Pokemon. And we're going to start with Galarian Meowth. Galarian Meowth was not necessary. We already had a Galarian, or we already had an Alolan Meowth. We didn't need another Galarian Meowth. So I'm going to put it down into C, because it's just kind of whatever to me. Yeah, it might evolve into something way cooler down the line, but we didn't need another Meowth. Galarian Ponyta, though, I think is absolutely awesome. I think Ponyta was definitely a Pokemon that needed something, and I'm glad that it got something. Galarian Rapidash, I really do like. I like it a lot. It would have been a perfect Pokemon if they had gave it wings and gave it more of a fairy Pegasus-esque theme, but I think they did a great job giving it the design that it did. Just wish it had wings. If it did have wings, it would have been S tier, hands down. Slowpoke. Slowpoke they could have done better with. They just kind of changed its head and its tail, so it's not notably enough for me to be excited about. Galarian Slowbro is actually really dope. I really like it, because even though it turns purple, it gains the poison typing instead, but it has basically a cannon and it shoots cannon guns stuff. That was bad, but it is what it is. Like, it's cool. I really like that. Galarian Farfetch. I love Galarian Farfetch. I honestly think that this version of Farfetch is way better than the Cantonian Farfetch, and I genuinely think that this is a great overall improvement. Galarian Weezing, it's okay. I like it. I think it is an improvement over Cantonian Weezing. Giving it the fairy typing was really cool. Plus, it kind of looks like, it's industrial towers, which I think it fits great with the theme of Britain. I don't like Mr. Mime, but I'm even one to admit that the ice variant of Mr. Mime is better than the Cantonian Mr. Mime. Without a doubt, it's an improvement. That doesn't mean I like it, but it is an improvement. Galarian Slowking. Kind of the same as Slowbro. It is an improvement to some degree. I do think it's a little bit more of a sicker looking Pokemon. I think it's a poison psychic type too. I could be wrong on that. Overall, I think it's a sick design. Corsola. I think Corsola, or that's Corsola. Galarian Corsola, I really like it. It fits like a new ghost theme that it was going for. And it's kind of a contrast to what Corsola was. So I honestly think that's like really cool. I do like that. Galarian Zigzagoon and Linoon, I like them too. I genuinely think they're like really dope designs, making them black and white, and plus they kind of give it the Kiss theme, which that's super dupe. Plus one of the new Pokemon that they debuted in this generation is a identical Kiss Pokemon. It's insane, the resemblance. But I think those are really good. Darmanitan and Darumaka, they're dope. I really think that they're also really good regional variants. Turning a fire type into an ice type is kind of unconventional, but like super dope the way that they handled it. So I definitely think they deserve to be in the B tier for sure. Galarian Yamask, it's cool. I think it's a little bit better than the normal Yamask, but I still don't feel too much to it. Like, I don't really overly like it, but I do think it's good. And Stunfisk, I only really like just due to the fact of how much success I've had with it in Pokemon Go, so I'm going to slap it in the B tier. Other than that, I don't have much else to say for it. So I think we'll go ahead and get started with the actual rankings for these Pokemon. Starting off with the starter Grookey. And I do love Grookey. I think Grookey is a great starter choice, an excitable, hyperactive monkey, and I think it works well. Thwackey. At first, I wasn't the biggest fan of Thwackey. I kind of thought that Thwackey was kind of a meh Pokemon, but as I've grown over time, I've actually grown to like it more. It's just basically a bigger Grookey. And I definitely think it works well, especially with a good middle. I think it's a solid middle evolution. Rillaboom is awesome. I do love Rillaboom a lot. Almost an S tier design Pokemon. I love the drummer theme that they gave that entire line. And I think Rillaboom is a nice capitalization of that. Scorbunny. Scorbunny is my favorite starter. Is you probably have already noticed that I do tend to have a fire. I tend to like the fire types, but Scorbunny I think is a awesome, perfect design. I love that they gave a rabbit the fire typing. I think it's absolutely dope. Raboot is honestly really edgy, and I love the edginess of Raboot. And I think it's a very nice design middle stage evolution, because a lot of middle stages are never typically good, but I think this is arguably one of the best. That's going to be funny to kind of be hyping up Scorbunny and Raboot, and then for me to slap Cinderace down into the A tier, but Cinderace, I love Cinderace. It was my starter of choice. It's the one that I used first, but I think they could have done something better, went down a better, cooler route with Cinderace. I do love the soccer theme that it has, as well as its hidden ability, Libero. I think it works perfectly with the theme, but overall, it could have been better. I do think it could have been to be a better S tier Pokemon. Sobble, I do love. I think it's absolutely cute. I definitely think it deserves to be in the A tier, as well as with Grookey. I think it's great. Drizzile, for me, I look at and I'm like, wow, he's a little bit on the depressed, edgy side, and when I look at him, it makes me think of me sometimes, because he's like, I'm just here to be here, and boy, do I feel that on a spiritual level. But I do like it. I do think it's kind of funny when I think about it like that. Inteleon, I get the whole 007 James Bond theme that they were going for, but it isn't it for me. I look at it and I'm like, they could have definitely done something better with it. I really wish they could have done something better, because I feel like they had a lot of potential. Skewvit and Greedent overall together, they're kind of meh. I'm not the biggest fan of the squirrels this generation, but you know, it is what it is. Rookidee is actually really lovable for me. Corvisquire is really good for me, and Corviknight is absolutely an S tier. A phenomenal design regional bird, arguably my favorite regional bird after its debut. An awesome design, a giant metal bird that can carry people on for its taxi service. That's just dope. Blipbug and Dottler, not really that big into. They're kind of, no, you're C. They're kind of meh Pokemon, but Orbeetle, I love Orbeetle. Like, honestly, one of my favorite, if not my favorite, starting bug type Pokemon, because I think they just gave it a sick design, as well as like good stats, I believe, for the first time for like a bug type. But yeah, plus it gets a Gigantamax form, which that's super dope. Nitwick and Thievul, they're likable. I can get behind him. I think Nitwick is kind of cute, and you know, Swiper, no swiping over here. You know, he's honestly a really nice evolution, so I definitely think these deserve to be in the B tier. Glossifer and Eldegoss, to be honest, I don't really feel that much towards them. I think they're solid, but other than that, that's really all I can give them, is they're kind of, they're there. Wooloo and Dubwool, I love these guys. I actually really do. I think they were fantastic design Pokemon. They're just sheep. I mean, they're just fluffy sheep, and they did such a good job with them. Like, I feel like it's really hard to kind of go against it unless you just hate sheep. Choodle is cute, definitely deserving of a B tier, and Dreadnought is a dope evolution that goes after that. Actually, yeah, I'm going to slap Dreadnought into the A tier. I really think they did a great job with these two. Yamper falls in the category of cute, while Bolton, I felt like they could have done something better with. I think it's solid, but I don't think it's good enough. But I do to somewhat like it, but just not enough to put it in the B tier. I think C is a good spot for it. Roly-Coly and Carkol, they're B. They're B tier Pokemon. I really think that they're solid. I just don't think they're anything over the top good. Colossal, though, definitely an A tier Pokemon. The typing kind of brings it down for me a little bit, but I still think Colossal is a awesome design Pokemon. Applin, Flapple, and Appleton. These actually are all going to go place in slightly different spots because I think Applin is cute, and I think it is a really nice and really cool design. It's just a, a Warum, like a dragon hybrid in the apple. Flappleton, or Flapple, definitely an A tier because I love how it kind of has that dragon aesthetic in the apple. Well, Appleton just kind of looks like something that you would want to eat rather than, train. So I'm going to slap Appleton in the C tier. Silicobra and Sandaconda, I actually think they're good designs for Pokemon, but I just can't get behind them because they're snakes, and I just don't like snakes. They're arguably the better designed snakes, in my opinion, but that's because they don't look like normal snakes to me, and I think that's why I can get behind them. But no, I have to slap them in the D. I'm sorry. It is what it is at the end of the day. Cramorant. I love Cramorant because I think Cramorant's a funny guy. I played him in Pokemon Unite, and just overall, the gimmick that he has, it's really funny, and I definitely think that he deserves to be in the A tier. Arrokuda, I'll be honest, I gotta kind of put him in the D tier because I honestly forget that it exists. When I look at Barraskewda, which I'm gonna put Barraskewda down in the C tier because even though I'm not a big fan of Barraskewda, I kind of forget that Arrokuda even exists. I almost don't even correlate the two because I never remember this thing existing. Toxel, I think, is a C tier. I think it's kind of not the best baby Pokemon. But it is what it is. Toxtricity, though, without a doubt, S tier Pokemon. They're phenomenal designs. I love they have the high key and low key amp forms. Just absolutely dope. Sizzlipede, I think is good. I do think Sizzlipede's a really good Pokemon. And Centiskorch is honestly super dope. Like, honestly, I can't even imagine making a centipede Pokemon super good, and they actually did that. They did a really great job with that. Clobbopus is cute. I'm going to slap Cobblepus down over here in the B tier, because it's just kind of like a young form of Octolock, which, or Grapplock. Grapplock, though, is definitely an S tier Pokemon. I think it absolutely is a phenomenal design. A wrestling octopus. That's just dope. That's super cool. Sinistea. Sinistea is honestly a B tier. I think Sinistea is really cute. Poltegeist, I think is another good one. I think it's a solid Pokemon. And I love the fact that they have like this special antique form that's super rare amongst the community. So I really think that they did a decent job with these guys. Hatenna, I think, is absolutely cute. So I'm going to slap Hatenna in the B tier. Hatchrim is honestly hilarious because I read of its dex entry of just like beating people up, which honestly makes me giggle. And Hatterene is good. I don't think it's as good as Hatchrim, but Hatterene is honestly a really dope Pokemon itself. Impotent is definitely a B tier. I definitely like it. I don't think it's anything more than a B tier because it's kind of cute and it's a little mischief little guy. Mororgan, I believe is his name is. He's honestly not bad. I don't really care for him that much, but I do think it's solid enough, but not solid enough to put him in the B. He's definitely a C tier in my opinion. Grimmsnarl is without a doubt an awesome S tier Pokemon. Being a dark fairy, being a contrast of what a fairy or a dark type should be, and combining them together is absolutely phenomenal, and I think they did an awesome design with him. Obstagoon is another really dope, awesome Pokemon. I think that they got the design on point well. This is the Gene Simmons Pokemon if I've ever seen one, and it's absolutely sick. Berserker is an A tier. I do love Berserker. I actually honestly think it's the best Meowth evolution, above Persian and Alolan Persian. Definitely above Alolan Persian. I honestly think this was dope. If they were going to give Meowth a Galarian form, they definitely did right by giving him this evolution. Cursula is actually not bad. I definitely love the theme of it being just essentially dead coral, and it's definitely strong. An evolution that Corsola could actually use, and I think they did a good job with it. Sirfetch'd, without a doubt, to me is an S tier Pokemon. I love the idea of for Farfetch getting a regional variant and then getting an evolution with essentially using its leak as a sword and a shield, plus with the games of this generation being Sword and Shield, Sirfetch'd is almost an iconic, perfect Pokemon for this region. So without further point, it needs to be an S tier Pokemon. I absolutely think it's phenomenal. Mr. Rime. I actually think that they did good with Mr. Mime in this generation. Mr. Rime, just a little tap dancing guy. He's not super creepy like Mr. Mime was, but I definitely could only slap him higher in the B tier because that's about as high as I can put it because he is an evolution of Mr. Mime. Runerigus is a perfect example of evolving and changing Pokemon. So, obviously with Yamask, they had Coffarigus. Well, they basically just turn it, instead of coffins, put them in runes. And I think that was an awesome choice, and I think they did a great job with it. Milcery, which Milcery is dope. I think it's kind of cute. As well as Alcremie. And I love the fact that you can give certain berries to Milcery and spin it in the game, and it evolves into Alcremie, and Alcremie can be a different flavor. He has so many different flavors, so I definitely think that's a really dope Pokemon. Phalanx is awesome. I think Phalanx is a really dope Pokemon. Being a fighting type is cool, and essentially having its own little cohorts to follow it behind, I think that's really cool. Pincurchin is alright. I don't think it's anything too exciting. I think it should have been the evolution of Pyukumuku from Alola, but I mean, hey, it is what it is. I don't make the rules. But I definitely think it deserves to be a C. Snom is adorable, and I do love Snom, just because of its cuteness. Snom just looks like the kind of Pokemon that you just want to hold and cherish it forever. Frostmoth is honestly a really dope Pokemon. I slap her in the B tier. I think it has a really nice design for bugs. I'm really glad that they gave the bug type some recognition since Generation 5, because they've came out with some really dope bugs, especially in this generation. Stonejourner is definitely a C in my opinion. It's cool, but not cool enough for me to warrant it putting into the B tier. Same thing with Eskew. I think Eskew is okay, but I don't think it's anything special. Male Indeedee and female Indeedee or whatever, they're kind of C, they're kind of mid to me. Morpeko is honestly a really dope electric dark type, especially because it has different forms, but I'm going to slap them both in the B tier because I think that they just kind of coincide with each other. But, this one takes, I don't remember what it is. I know this is its angry form, but it's still really cool. Coupant and Caparaja, Steel Elephants, those are dope. I'm going to slap those guys in the B tier. Now, the fossil Pokemon are really interesting because I'm not the biggest fan of the fossils in general. I do like them. I definitely like these guys for sure because I love the concept behind them. Dracovish, though, is an abomination that I absolutely love. Plus, with it being extremely overpowered, it's hard not to love Dracovish in my opinion. Duraludon, I always wanted to like Duraludon. I always wanted to love Duraludon, but I can only get to a point where I can only like it. because it's a big, bulky, like, wide dragon steel type, but that's about all it's got going for it is good typing. I think the design could have been better. Dreepy, though, I absolutely love, and Dracolock, I think, is definitely solid, but Dragapult is without a doubt one of the best pseudo-legendaries of all time, being a dragon ghost type, hands down, just absolutely awesome. Now we're going to get to the legendaries of this generation, and, I mean, this is going to be, goes without saying, but I do love a lot of these legendaries. Zacian, by far my favorite legendary of this generation. Zamazenta, I don't want to put Zamazenta with Zacian because I do like Zacian a lot more. So, but Zamazenta is really good. I love it too. So I'm going to slap him in the A tier. Eternatus, I think, is a sick-looking, awesome dragon. I definitely think it deserves to be in the S tier because I think it's honestly a phenomenal design. Kubfu, they did such an awesome job with Kubfu in the Urshifu line. I absolutely love that Kubfu is a fighting type that evolves into either a dark or water split evolution Urshifu with Rapid Strike or Single Strike. I think that's absolutely phenomenal. Zarude, I think, is an awesome mythical. I think it's an awesome choice for one. A grass dark type is super dope. Introducing my new favorite Reggie out of all of them, Regieleki, and I love it because it is a complete contrast of what Reggies were supposed to be, and I think that is why I love it so much. Regidrago is dope, and I love it. I wish it was better, but you know, it is what it is. But I love that it has its arms are basically the design of a dragon, so I think that's super cool. Gastrier and Spectrier, I think they're really nice looking horses. I think, you know, we've had some horse Pokemon, but I definitely think Spectrier is actually an A tier. I think that the design of Spectrier is a lot better than what horses we've had recently. Calyrex, I'm not the biggest fan of Calyrex. I think Calyrex is kind of just weird, and I'm not overly the biggest fan of. So I'm going to go ahead and slap on the fact that their middle forms, that their fusion forms essentially is just Calyrex riding them. They're mid. Calyrex gets a cape. That's all there is to it. And now for the Galarian birds, which could somewhat be a controversial take, but I think they're not that great. I think they're okay. Honestly, at the end of the day, I don't necessarily think that these guys needed new forms. I love the legendary birds because, you know, they are the first legendary trio that I grew up with, but Moltres is arguably the best, so I could slap Moltres in the B tier. I love the idea that, you know, this bird doesn't, it's different. It's not like I'm turning into a Roadrunner, but it doesn't fly. It's like I love it, but I hate it kind of thing. I don't really like how Articuno is just kind of, hey, I fly without actually flying now, because he doesn't use the psychic powers. So honestly, they're mid, in my opinion. And now we're going to go ahead and try to rank the Pokemon from S tier from this generation. So we're actually going to go ahead and slap Zacian right up front, because I've already said it's my favorite. I definitely would probably put Regieleki right there, because I love that. I love it. I love Regieleki. I'm going to put Rapid Strike here, but I mean Urshifu, I kind of think both Urshifus just kind of stand together for one, just like how Zacian, two forms kind of stand together for one. So definitely would probably say Zacian, Regieleki, Urshifu. We're going to slap Sirfetch'd right here, and then we're going to put Eternatus right there. I like Dracovish. I'm going to put Dragapult in front of Dracovish. Corviknight will go after Dracovish. Ant forms. Chalktricity will go right there. Octolock or Grappalock will go here. Kubfu will go right there. And I think that's it right there. I think that's how I would do it. So I think that's how I would rank my S tier Pokemon. and I think this is how I would rank my list overall. Well, that'll go ahead and wrap up my list. I hope you all enjoyed watching this video. Please like and subscribe if you like this type of content. Please let me know how you felt I did in the comment section below, and tell me, like, hey, like, I felt like this Pokemon should have been higher, or that Pokemon should have been lower. I would definitely love to hear your feedback. I'm going to be trying to work on the Generation 8 Shiny list in a little bit, but I can't wait to do this with you guys at a later date. But until then, later.